Also, we're gonna be looking at Roku. Why Roku? Roku really made this inverse head and shoulder, right? Our bullish pattern as well, right? Every time we've been bouncing, but right now look at how price is rejecting the 200 moving average zone. Okay, so we're back now. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Well, this is your boy Francis. Welcome to the Trading Success Show. If this is your first time, you're welcome to this channel. Now, what we're going to be dealing with, we're going to be talking about stocks with paying dividend, increasing dividend growth stocks, and I will also be talking about long-term stocks that you know these companies are very solid in terms of holding them for a long term. So we're gonna be digging in deep here, but remember, this is not a recommendation to buy or to sell any stock or equity. This is for entertainment purposes only. Now, looking at the market, actually, how the performance were on Friday. As per Friday's performance, we did good on the consumer cyclical side, communication services, and as well as healthcare, and also on the defensive side, right? But now, tech actually got some beaten as well as the financials, right? So in terms of the market, let's see what we're gonna be dealing with. I talked about the market as well, and this week I'll be expecting some very nice solid actions to come in because we have data in terms of PCE as well coming in. And looking at the market, the SPY, this is the Spider S&P 500 ETF. So I'll be looking at price really pushing back into the 415 in terms of what we have going on this coming week. It's gonna be a busy week in terms of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I'll be looking at price to still continue to to hover around this area. See how we broke this trend, and the next part was 410. If you take a look at the video I made, I said, watch out for this level, this trend right here. If for any reason the market pulled back, we're gonna be looking at this trend right here. This is going to be our trend support. So that will leave us with 410, 409 area. So alright, so I did talk about price actually getting to that spot, right? This 410, and yes, we got to that 410 and bounced right off of 410 area. Okay, that was my anticipation. That was what I was anticipating, a rejection of this spot, and we've made a double bottom, right? So that double bottom signifies a movement to the upside. So keep an eye out. If for any worst case scenario the market decides to dip further down, guess what? The next spot is our 20 exponential moving average, which is 4,850-ish area. However, we got to that 416 like I talked about, right? But we just couldn't sustain that movement, and guess what? We sold right off, maintain our support. So keep an eye out on this area. I'll be expecting the market to continue to push higher pending what our economic data looks like. So this week coming, we have on Tuesday, we have some new home sales that we'll be expecting, right? So the forecast is 630,000, and previous was 640,000. So so that's what we're expecting in terms of March home sales. Also, durable goods will be coming in on Wednesday as well as jobless claims will be coming in, 250 as against 245, with Friday, which is the major data that will be gaining in terms of PCE and core PCE index, right? So we'll be expecting some nice movement in the action this coming week. So, you know, just keep your minds open in terms of if the market, if you're going down or if we're going up, just be ready. Google, I added some Google to my long-term portfolio again, because this is actually really doing good around the 105, 106 area. So looking for 106, 106.50 break. That's what I'm looking for. If you look at Amazon actually did good for me. Reason is because I've been calling it out, I've been talking about it, that you know, Amazon need to break off of this resistance zone, right? And guess what happened? We actually broke off of the 105, the resistance zone, 104, 105, and guess what? We're back to the 200 moving average. I also talk about, you know, this stock moving in, pushing right into the 200 moving average, and we'll keep an open mind in case the price reject that spot, right? So right now we're back into that spot, and I'll be expecting price to really bounce off this area and continue to push to the upside because of volume, or we can pull back to retest this area, but it's not substantial. The move is not substantial enough to pull back to retest that 105 area. But you know, keep an open mind, and I will continue to add as I see fit on Amazon. So keep an eye on that. Tesla really poorly last week. I wouldn't credit that to the space, but also they did bad in terms of earnings. That's why we gapped down to the downside, right? So if you're looking at it, we have inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is a bullish nature, but guess what? We're back to retest the right side of the shoulder. See if price can hold 160, 165 zone. If it does hold, I'll be expecting a bounce off of this area on Tesla. NVDA as well, I did play some long calls on NVDA at this point in time, at this area, when price pulled back to retest the 20 exponential moving average, right? So if you look at this, every time we pull in this 20 exponential moving average, guess what? We bounce off of this area and bounce off every time. So because we're really pushing lower to that spot, I decided to pick up the 265 and also 260 calls. Okay, as we gap up the next day, I sold the 265 and then held this for like a day, the 265 for a day, and then I sold both of them, both the 260 and the 265 call option, right? So that is how to play it pretty much. See how we figured out a trend, right? And that is the trend. And if for any reason price decide to keep dipping and dipping and dipping lower, then the next spot is going to be the 50 exponential moving average, which is this 250, 248 area on NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA is very strong, so keep an eye out on NVIDIA. J&J as well, we're looking at price back into the 200 moving average, rejected, close 162.69. So right now we're looking at price at 161, 162 for a long-term hold if you're feeling, you know, the need to pick up Johnson & Johnson. Okay, also looking at IBM, I also picked up some IBM as well, just few shares, nothing much. Reason is because we're back down to this 125 area, right? So I'll be my expectation is for this to pull to make that inverse head and shoulder. Why? You're looking at this right here. Okay, so this is the left side of the shoulder and this is the right side, this is the head. So we're back to the right side of the inverse head and shoulder, which is a bullish pattern. If this 125 can solidly hold and we bounce off that area, if we can bounce off that spot, then we're good to retest this downtrend. So keep an eye out on IBM. I have that as well on my portfolio. Apple, I took some of my Apple out when we got to 167, right? This is on my Roth account. So this inverse head and shoulder play really nice, okay, because I was looking for an equal movement on Apple, right? Right from here, I was looking for the same equal movement on this name, and we got to that spot, took some of my position off on my Roth account, and I'm holding the rest in anticipation of price revisiting this area and then bounce to the upside on Apple. So keep an eye out on Apple. JP Morgan, right now we're looking at the gap that was created, right? This is earnings gap. So right now 142 is our resistance. Okay, so if we continue to sell off on this name, the next spot is going to be 138 on that name. Walmart as well, we're looking at price back into resistance, back into zone where price can really reject. However, we have this downtrend that is right here, so that is going to act as our support, which is around 150. If that area doesn't hold, guys, we'll be looking at 148 on this name, which also is a very solid area for Walmart to really hold as a support for bounce to the upside. So keep an eye out on that spot as well. Also, we're gonna be looking at Roku. Why Roku? Roku really made this inverse head and shoulder, right? Our bullish pattern as well, right? Every time we've been bouncing, but right now look at how price is rejecting the 200 moving average zone. Okay, so we're back into the $58 spot. If that area doesn't hold, guys, we'll be looking at 55. My anticipation on this name is for price to bounce right off the $58 zone. If it does, then we're looking good. Okay, with Florida government and Disney, Walt Disney issue going on, I'll be looking for price to reclaim the 20 and 50 exponential moving average, which we did on Friday. But the next spot is the 100, which is a very solid resistance zone on Disney. I also added Disney last week as well to my long-term portfolio. Okay, PM also is another name that I'll be adding to my long-term portfolio. Just something little. Why? Because we have inverse head and shoulder on the short term. So right now we're looking at price holding $97 as our support. For any reason price decide to pull lower more, then we'll be looking at 96, which correspond to this left side of the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, we're looking at Meta as well. For Meta platform, right now we're really breaking trend, and now we're working the 20 exponential moving average. I think in the short term this is bearish. Why? Because if price cannot sustain that 20 exponential moving average, well, they will be looking at price back into the 50 exponential moving average. Okay, so for now, looking at the trend, looking at previous price action, which is not an indication of future action, we'll be looking at price bouncing off of the 20 exponential moving average as well. LVS, this is Las Vegas Sands, right? Las Vegas Sands, we did pull back, retest a 54-52 area zone, and then back to the upside. Look for 64-63 area as a form of resistance, and then we retest the $60 back again. Look at how we double play out of this, right? A triple play out of this to the upside. So look for a retest back to that 60 spot on that name. Pfizer, I also talked about J&J. Now I'm also talking about Pfizer. Pfizer as well, we've been really beating down on this name, so I will be looking at picking some up as well if we don't push right up on Monday morning, next trading day. Overall, $40.80 is our next resistance, which corresponds with our what? Our 20 exponential moving average. Okay, so keep an eye out on the $40.80 or $41 spot on that name. Yes, as well, shopping bonanza. So we're looking at price around this zone. So this area is going to be our resistance, $20.50. That is my anticipation. That's where I want to really look at picking up for some long-term hold as well. BMY, that is Bristol Myers as well, inverse head and shoulder pattern, guys, and then bounce right off, retest that inverse head and shoulder. Guess what? Bounce right, created this gap, boom, to the upside. Right now, this is the trend you're gonna be watching. If we break through this trend, $70.50, $71, we'll be looking at 72 in the coming days, which also correspond with our 200 moving average. Ford, I'll be looking at picking some up on Ford as well. They've been doing good so far, but however, the stock is not indicating how their performance is. Okay, so we'll be looking at price, you know, bouncing right off of this zone as well, which we did, but I'll be looking for more better confirmation. Netflix also give us some beautiful action. Okay, so that beautiful action from Netflix actually came right around the late trading session. Okay, so we're looking at price around the 50 exponential moving average. So see if price can continue to push right into 20 exponential moving average. Resistance is at $330 with room right back to $340. Guys, thank you for being here. The remaining chart, I'm going to post them up on my stock tweet and on my Twitter account. I have so many beautiful looking charts that I'll be posting up on my Twitter and on my stock tweet. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Peace and love. Bye bye.